All right, we've got plenty coming your way in terms of the footy. Latrell Mitchell's back. There's a lot of talk about where Jerome Luai might end up. With news this week, he's split from his manager, but we're all going to kick things off with the ongoing war, I guess you could call it that, between the RLPA and the NRL. There's talk now that the players could boycott the Dally M medal. Now, Billy Slater, he doesn't get fired up about too much, but here's his take on the current situation between the RLPA and the NRL.
Seriously, grow up. Like, seriously, both parties need to grow up and just work this out. Like the media not talking to the players. Like, this is getting ridiculous now. Seriously, like, honestly, can we just grow up and just work this out? Like, I don't understand. Like, to watch a game of footy and not hear from the players after the game, I don't understand how we can't sit down and work something out.
Billy Slater, like, I've never seen him before in terms of an off-field issue, I would say. Like, he's always pretty measured. He was measured there, but to tell both parties to grow up. Now, the last time we saw Dally M medal boycott was back in 2003.
Craig Gower.
When Craig Gower was essentially...
I think Craig Gower is now...
Of the medal.
Did they give him the medal?
Don't know.
No, they still haven't.
Oh, haven't they?
No.
Great sacrifice.
Should he be given it?
I think he should be, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but then that was part of the reason of standing up. Well, they're trying to do something. I don't know who's in the right here, and I'm a bit with Billy that it just seems ridiculous that they can't sit down in a room and get it sorted. Like, I find it ridiculous as well, but the whole reason is to sacrifice it. So if they want to do it again, then whoever's sort of sitting at the top of the moment, I wouldn't have a clue, then someone at the end of the day would get the Player of the Year according to the Dally M system, and
one of the great unselfish acts for his fellow players, Craig Gower, and he didn't hesitate. And after that, there was a deal done, wasn't there? It got sorted. Yeah,
I think Gowie was on the... Like, we were on it. It was made well before the end of the year.
Yep.
So, you know, there was a sort of a group decision by a lot of people, and I don't know what came of it, but I'm pretty sure, there was something signed just after it, but that's the sacrifice.
And in negotiations, there's give and take. Let's just get it sorted.
Do you have confidence that it will be done by this year's Dally M, which is the week of the grand final?
No.
It's the frightening thing. It seems like it'll never get done.
And it's a fair sacrifice. You spoke about Gowie's sacrifice, but say Sean Johnson, there's a lot of talk around him in the moment, or whether it's a Nathan Cleary, it's probably the only thing in the game he hasn't done. He's still young. But
well, I'd say that the players have never been so... They've never had this solidarity before. It was great during the Craig Gower in the early 2003.
Yeah,
there was great solidarity then, but I feel like there's more now.
Absolutely. They're more organised. Well, they've got more money. They're functioning better. They've got more staff. In the old days, you had Butsy.
Yeah.
And then the leading players, or whoever the group of leading players were. So, at the moment, it's a lot more organised. It's better funded.
There's a lot of talk at the moment about a lot of players not knowing actually what's going on. I guess
because
that's part of
care,
any
mate.
union, right?
They don't care.
So there's people on the board, like Daly Chair Evans as the president. You've got Wade Graham, Chad Townsend, Christian Welsh, all these players.
But each club has a delegate.
They do have delegates.
So the delegate has to go back and give the information back to the fellow players.
It'd be getting tiring. It would be getting very tiring. And I assume the NRL are sort of leaning on that. I don't know what the hang-up is and why they're not coming to an agreement. But I'm assuming the NRL are just relying on players like they've always done, and just said, you know what, just sign it, just get it done. We're sick of it, because that's the way the players normally go. They just want to see the end of it. But like Joey said, they seem more solid than ever.
When you say it's tiring, is that on individual players or in terms of the debate?
Of course it is. It's just something else you've got to talk about, something else you've got to worry about, something else you've got to think about.
Will it affect any of those key players that are the delegates? Like say finals time, there's going to be all this talk if it's not settled.
Some would. Some thrive on that sort of stuff. Daly Cherry Evans, his form's been outstanding, so it's hard to,
But he's a politician in waiting, isn't he?
It looks like that. But a bit with Billy there, it's quite incredible that it's not being done. Like,
both parties.
Hopefully they're sitting around at the moment having a cup of tea, sorting it out.
And look, Clint Newton's been painted as the villain in this. He's just doing his job. And it's nothing about money. It's all about decision-making, having a seat at the table. Like recently there was talk there was going to be 2 more rounds next year. talk to the players. The NFL has 17 rounds, is it?
Mm.
Yep.
And then they play the Super Bowl. Rugby league's harder on the body. Last year, Junior played 36 games in the front row. Trials, club games, state of origins, test matches, semi-finals. 36 games. Imagine how taxing that is on. To get yourself up physically but mentally to play any NRL game, let alone origins or semi-finals or test matches, to get yourself up mentally to go out there and get smashed, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you.
Imagine how taxing it is to tackle him.
Oh, yes.
But you throw in 8 weeks of pre-season minimum on top of that. He's only got a few weeks
They're
off
not
in the year.
machines. They're not, and you know what happens? You get those loads around your mid to late 20s, everything comes crashing down. Like my body broke down for 18 months, 2 years. Freddie was the same. And Origin 1, we both sort of chatted to Nathan Cleary about his. I said, mate, you've been loading up your body and you do so much extra kicking and you do this. You know, you've got to start managing your body. Next thing, hamstring. He's never had hamstring problems. It's all connected. All that, like you went through the calves.
Yeah.
You got blokes that went away, Jake Trebojevic, Latrell, soft tissue injuries from overwork. So an incident like that, they want to extend the season by 2 weeks. Players need to say it.
You spoke about in 03, after the Dally M's, it all kind of got settled, I guess, when there wasn't as much focus on the game. How does this end? When does it end in the off-season?
No, I hope it can end in the next week or two. Like, for instance, State of Origin, I would have loved to heard from Bradman Best. Everyone in Newcastle and Hunter Valley would have loved to heard from Bradman. But this is what the players are doing, and as I said, they're solid. There's solidarity there. They just get it done. Get in a room, sort it out, put your egos aside.
I know. Surely you just go into a room and you don't leave until it's done. Surely. Just, what's it so hard? Get it done. Just do it.
All right, voice of reason, Brad Fittler. We love our footy, of course. We love our swimming, of course, being called by the great Matt Thompson. But we also love our cricket. The Ashes' 5th test in the UK kicks off on Thursday night right here on 9.
Buckets of rain.
Yeah, it's a tough one to take.
Buckets of tears.
It's one of those that will be tough to look back on.
Sorry, England. That's gotta hurt. But there's more pain coming for you. Now, the series is on the line in London. Australia's on the edge of victory. Can we win our first series in England for 22 years? The Ashes' 5th test starts Thursday on 9 and 9 now.